Pidgey, you're very welcome. And if you would care to support me in my little Patreon account, it's up there. The address is up there. For £5 a month, you can help me to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, and to cause the powerful a little bit of a headache now and again. Hopefully. And be part of my little group. And there'll be little things stuck in there just for the Patreon. The Patreon members will get this on one big tranche right away as soon as it comes out. And the rest will get it, but it'll come out a wee bit slower. And there'll also be bits of video and stuff I'm going to be sticking on the Patreon account special for that. So for £5 a month, which is about $125. It is $125 a week. See me with maths? See what I did there? Just like that. Sharp as up. See me? That's all I'm asking. And very grateful to those who are already on board. Many thanks indeed. This week's very interesting. It's been a very interesting week. A lot of very powerful institutions and organisations have made complete dicks of themselves. It's unbelievable. The ongoing Investigator Powers Tribunal, which is examining allegations that the PSNI placed local journalists Barry McCaffrey and Trevor Birney under unlawful surveillance over their 2017 documentary film about the 1997 Loughin Island massacre. Well, it's been thrown up a shocking allegation. Given evidence to the tribunal, Darren Ellis, he's a retired officer from Durham Constabulary who'd investigated the alleged theft of confidential documents used in the film. Well, he alleges that a senior PSNI officer informed him of what they considered to be, and I quote, perverse decision-making within criminal justice processes by those of a religious and political persuasion, given the prevalence of those from a Catholic background within the Northern Ireland courts system. Oh, see them papish? You can't watch them papish. They're getting in everywhere. Now, the officer concerned, who's been accused, well, she has said she's deeply angered and offended by Mr. Ellis's comments, and she will be taking legal advice. Now, we'll have to wait to see the outcome of all that. But what we know for sure is the PSNI have been utterly humiliated regarding this case. Having raided the homes and arrested both journalists, they removed even their children's iPads. The PSNI were then forced to release both without charge and pay damages estimated to be around £875,000. Is it any wonder the police budget is under strain? Now, what I'd love to know is who within the police instigated this flawed investigation, and if they were held to account for their incompetence, or has become the norm, were they allowed instead to quietly retire on a full police pension? And if journalists here were being surveilled by our police force, then a basic tenet of a free society, namely a free press, was being transgressed. Now, one thing we do know for certain, when the PSNI chose to go after McCaffrey and Birney, they chose the wrong journalists to pick a fight with. So far, they have had their noses drubbed. And if it is discovered that the PSNI were bugging those journalists' phones, then natural justice would demand that whoever gave those orders should be held accountable. It is not fair that the institution which is there to hold us accountable when we transgress seemingly believe their higher echelons are beyond accountability. They should be brought back, even if it means extraditing them from their retirement homes in the Algarve or Spain or Florida. They should be brought back here to answer for their illegal behaviour. The McCaffrey Birney case, by the way, wasn't the only example of PSNI ineptitude being exposed this week, with the force being fined another £750,000 by the UK's Information Commissioner's Office for the data breach of the personal details of 9,483 PSNI personnel in August the 8th last year. Deputy Chief Constable Chris Todd said that the fine was regrettable, especially given the financial constraints the force currently faced. It mightn't have so many financial constraints if you didn't bulged up on such a regular basis, I said, Mr. Chris Todd. Indeed, the PSNI should be grateful that the Commissioner's Office used its discretionary powers. Otherwise, the fine could have been £5.6 million. Now, it also needs mentioned that this was yet another example of the PSNI shooting itself in the foot, as it was due to a lamentable lack of basic security measures around handling of personal information by the force. And again, the question which demands an answer is, was anyone held accountable? Or is there yet another ex-PSNI officer luxuriating on a beach somewhere, having been forced to take an early retirement package? Because what we know for sure is if Joe Bloggs on the beat makes a mistake, he's thrown under the bus. But it seems that when you reach a certain level in the PSNI, you're untouchable. All I can hope is that maybe if there is any justice, that all those totally incompetent PSNI officers, well, instead of going to the Algarve or Spain, maybe they book themselves on that world cruise ship, the Odyssey ship, which has been stuck in Belfast for the last 4 months. That would be karma. That would be karma. No, that would be sweet. That would be justice. Be a wee bit of justice there. Just a wee bit.
You'll do nothing. You hear me? You'll do nothing.